Second. Hope this works. Hmm? Why is it not playing on the desktop audio? Okay, I was gonna start that over. Alrighty then. Need to check if everything's working in order for. Okay, this is correct. That is not correct. My friend's playing Silk Song. Alright, testing microphone 1, 2. My friend's playing Silk Song. Wow, it's so delayed on the 2. That's not good. Oh, at least David's back. Philippine. Overexcited. At least we have that working. See, the face cam works. Yes, it does. Hello, folks. It's me. I'm Biggie, and I'm back, and we are live, and we are doing Worldbuilding Wednesday. And there's a couple of really cool things I want to show you. Unfortunately, my completed chapter 3 is not one of them. I'm in the middle of writing it back and forth, so there's that. But what I have been busy with is music. Well, do I have a lot of things to show you? Well, it depends on we'll see if people are going to show up on the stream or not, because usually Worldbuilding Wednesdays are not the most popular streams. But yeah, we're gonna see if we're gonna pivot, and depending on if my novel is going to gain some traction, see some faces, I will definitely have people be interested. Okay. You might also notice that the music is a little bit different. Also, something really cool. If you're, it depends on if you're a long time fan of the channel. Usually we have a something different playing over this, but we'll see. Give me a second while I hydrate. And I'm gonna thank my members. So thank you, Apilux, Manta, Rafa, Vigachapa, Techno, Namit Lam, Chris Burton. Thanking Techno again. Damn it. Anyways, Apilux, Manta, Rafa, Vigachapa, I'm Islam, Chris Burton, members at the time of streaming, getting to watch vids early, cool badges and emojis for. Alright. But I'm gonna just wait for a little bit and talk random things, and maybe just do a little bit of writing, and more people coming in and tuning, see what's going on. But yeah, the YouTube is a little bit delayed, so I don't know what it is with these world building streams, but it seems to always have a lot of trouble with the delays. I always try to set it as lowest latency possible, but it still refuses to lower its own latency. Yep, okay, which means the game dev screen. There it is. Yep. But Memoirs of Jacob chapter 3 is up. So you can go and watch that, read that a little bit as well. But I'm gonna do just some editing on, well, not off camera. Getting notification from my phone. Give me a second while that gets pushed to the side. But yes, so right now I am in the middle, like, this isn't finished writing, so I'll do editing by little. So there's that. Oh, let's see who's that. Give me a second. Hi, the Shadow Legion. Currently, what I'm using to write a book is, I'm quadriplegic, so both of my hands don't really work. So it's a long and arduous process of talking into ChatGPT, have it dictate what I say, correct all the things that it didn't have me say, and then all those things because currently the most advanced voice recognition software is on ChatGPT's end. So there's that, and you need to do that for a little bit. The other thing that I always use as well is the Windows text to speech. So Windows 11 has a slightly better one, which I could do right now. So I could do Windows H, and then I could basically just type into the chat as much as I want. But it is not as nearly as accurate as I want to. The thing about using AI to there's levels of apparently this is on I have my stuff published on Royal Road, and apparently there's levels to this stuff, to how much AI is being used, the AI generated stuff. So basically churn a prompt into the AI and then copy paste, and that's the lazy thing that you could do. But the best practice, at least for me, is that use AI. AI is super great at world building and doing research. I love using AI for research. I know it hallucinates a little bit. I mean, I have to verify some of the stuff that it actually posts, but it's getting slightly better nowadays. But I know that people, some people just immediately turn off as soon as they say, "Oh, I use AI in writing. Oh no, none of this stuff's original." But it's really good at editing and catching bad writing habits as well. So as long as you use it to improve your writing and editing and stuff like that, I think it helps you grow and become a better writer. But what AI can't help you with is what I call media literacy. So you can't just go up and say, "Okay, I'm going to write a story about this," and because every single thing you turn into the AI is gonna say, "Good job, it's very good. I love your writing. Nothing's wrong here." You know, when a proper editor would be able to immediately tell that it's just malarkey. Is it? No, none of this makes sense. Howdy, mana. Chapter 3 is up on. Well, it is, as you can see, work in progress. This is the first time in Worldbuilding Wednesday that I didn't finish the chapter before I did. But you might notice something a little bit about the music as well, because I went down a bit of a rabbit hole with the music here. But yeah, that it is a bit of an adventure. Let me I'll tell you what. No, it's not no, we haven't used copyrighted stuff. The song, Sarah's song, is not copyrighted, but it is content blocked on in Russia, of all places. Yeah, but it is more for religious reasons than anything. And we're not gonna go politics and history revisionism and stuff. But okay, so before we head into that territory, I'll see if I could post or just show some of the things that we've been working on. Well, first off is Zara's song. I'm gonna see if I could grab that. Zara's song is not original. It is a song called O Rubor Sanguinis, right? So let me look that up. I just tuned it up so the sound is more matching to a young girl's voice versus the actual original voice. So there's that. Where am I? And we haven't. I have trouble setting up a couple of things. I was gonna do a different stream layout today, but then apparently I forgot to install GIMP, so I can't edit any images. So there's that. All right, so give me a second while I look up the song here. Um, First off is the Sarah's song on my channel. Where's my So you might see this short already. Let me just do this. This is the short that I showed, framed correctly. Not. So let me frame it as best as I can using this. Yep. Okay, we'll see. That works. Or where is it? Why is it this stuffed? About this. I'll do it manually. Over here. Yeah, this is who's Hildegard. Hildegard von Bingen is a very important figure in history because, or the history of music, right? Because if you talk about history, this is going off on a historical tangent. If you talk about history, then Hildegard von Bingen. Darn it! Let me wiki you up here. But yeah, this. Where's my page? Sorry, this is me just typically being slow because uh it takes me a while to copy and paste. Hildegard von Bingen is actually probably the world's first composer. Uh, in a sense that um, if you know anything about history, what is history? History is the start of writing. So the evidence of things being historical starts with writing. It starts with that clay tablet complaint of that dude saying that his copper wasn't up to quality. So and that famous Sumerian joke or whatever, all that stuff, and the epics of Gilgamesh. Those things are the start of history. And of course, before that was prehistory. So if you say when is the beginning of history, it is the beginning of writing. And the beginning of music, or the start of music, is arguably back in the day where the philosophers talk about, like, I think it was Plato, or it was one of the Greek philosophers who talked about the music of the spheres, where they described um, resonance and the sound of heavens and music being mathematical. But writings of that wasn't a writing of music, it was a writing about music. Hildegard von Bingen was the first one to write notation. So that the beginning of this turned into a history lesson real quick. So she was one of those enigmatic figures, similar, I would say, it's very similar to Joan of Arc. But she is someone who not only, well, she was female, first of all. That is already, she's an abbess. That is already very, very sus. And the fact that she wrote music, I think she probably has the similar things to Joan of Arc, that she had migraines and stuff, thinks she has signals from the gods, and she needs to capture music, which back then was all secular, meaning that it was all unholy, revelry, all very human, very unchurch-like. Church and worship needs to be silent. But with this, with her basically kickstarting the history of Western music by writing and notating and coming up with notation, right? Even in Civilization 6, I believe she was a great person. She's the one who transforms holy site adjacencies into science. So that was that. So she is, yeah. You could look up her entry in the Civilopedia as well. But yeah, I decided to use her song as the basis of this stuff. But what came after was the song that I went and had AI generate. Um, and this was creepy. This was very, very creepy. What did I do? I first went back and created a asked Chat GPT to come up with. First off, I love Baba Yetu. If you have ever heard Civilization's Baba Yetu, you probably already know what my favorite game series is, aside from Unlimited Saga. If you actually went back and listened to, like, Baba Yetu is the Lord's Prayer, right? But it's in Swahili. So, okay, let's do Hail Mary in Swahili and swap Mary with my character Zara, and then swap everything else out. Um, Swap every religious references that is obvious, make it non-obvious, and then pop it into Suno. And this thing came out, and it is absolutely haunting. I love every single bit of it. So, um, let me just look it up. This is the copyright-free stuff, right? So let me just get the shareable link, then post it onto this shorts feed. Yep, here it is. That's the first bit, and then after that we have the translation in English. And this song has been haunting me for the past few days. It is literally haunting me because what's happening right now, if anything happens, right? We're getting synchronicity levels of creepiness now, right? Where all of the things that kind of falls into, yep. Yep. Yeah, it is. It is. I love that. This is just the start of the rabbit hole, and since you're here live, you're gonna start seeing a couple of things. First off, I'm going to pop in this very new bit of writing, which is going to be the not the memoirs itself, but a here we go. The memoirs over here. I've made a new splash page for Memoirs of Jacob, right? And this is going to, if I ever get this published as a book, this is going to be the text blurb on the back, definitely. And let me try reading this. Oh yeah, by the way, Manta, did you not notice? David's back. Good old David's back. Try chatting. Try. Yes, he is. Microsoft David is now back, and it sound a little more American. Oh, oh, that's rough. I can though. Okay. Try now, Manta. Try now. Guess who's back? Again. David's back.
David is Bassy Part 2.
Yes, tell a friend. David's back. David's
Huzzah.
back. David's back. David's back. Okay. Right. Anyways, I'm going to read this. Right. This is absolutely wonderful. I love this to bits. Okay. So let me just do the read. Oh, I need to hydrate. I swear that's hydrating noises. I, 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 I don't know if you know this, but that's actually a hydrating technique for your throat. It is actually a hydrating technique. I swear. Okay, I'll demonstrate it. Mm-hmm. What you do is you tilt your head forward slightly, and then breathe water through your mouth or something warm, and the vapors should go down your throat instead of your esophagus. I wasn't doing anything sus off camera, I swear. Don't get me demonetized. Okay, anyways, reading time. To all members of the Marvel Inner Circle, the so-called memoirs of Jacob are not scripture, but sedition. This apocryphal text, smuggled across borders and hidden in the back rooms of inns, claims to recount the travels of Our Lady and Martyr, Saint Zara of Anzania, through the 7 realms. Its author, a mere missionary scribe, writes with trembling ink and unguarded candor, and therein lies the danger. What's the danger? Let me reread that. Writes with trembling ink and unguarded candor, and therein lies the danger. What the official liturgies veil in parable, this work lays bare. Worse still, it records the lady herself, not as a sainted paragon, but as a strange, unsettling figure in her poetry and her silences. It is for this reason the text was prescribed, not because it lies, but because it tells a truth dangerous enough to unravel faith and topple institutions. Let this stand as a final admonition. Do not read. If you find these pages, consign them to the flames. Preserve your life and your soul. The revelations contained within have already cost others theirs. Yep, there we go. That's nice. This would be a wonderful outside the book blurb, and sets the immediate tone. What do you think, Mana? That's so neat, isn't it? Okay. While you type up an answer, probably just, but knowing Mana, he's probably just reading ahead and looking for all of the various links to the various chapters already. But yeah, that's the splash page now.
It's pretty neat as a warning for the sake of propaganda.
Yes. Because this, let me talk about the Memoirs of Jacob. The Memoirs of Jacob will span across 84 years, right? The preface is 1183, 11883, and this started writing at 1180. So it is a 40-year text. No, it is a 84-year text. A compilation. And it's going to be pretty interesting to write, because I will have to change Jacob over the course of 7 years from a person who he was to the person he's going to be. I mean, that's already implied in the preface that he's writing as a chapter finishes, right? But it contains work of of course, work of fiction, religions, cultures, peoples, events described are fictional, here for the purpose of storytelling, etc. Right? Okay. With that being said, we've had the preface. Nixbor parts 1 and 2 are now complete-ish. I've republished it with a few changes. Let's all go. I'm gonna go over the changes that Manta suggested, and the thing that I added as well. Right? There we go. This is the change that Mana suggested. Lady Tawana briefly turned away from the table to glance at Sarah, to share her victory with her daughter, not knowing that the Azorian has reached back behind him for the ceremonial axe. Of course, Muhammir Craft, the damned shadow were in on it. Oh wait, this is the wrong version. My goodness, this is the wrong version. I am so sorry. This is the pre-edit version. I'll need to make those changes. Well, I'm sorry, man. I was wondering why this felt a little bit better. No, it felt a little bit old.
I was gonna say.
Yep. Okay, just give me a second. Right. All right. So ignore that. I'm gonna read directly from my text. I can't show you the text because it has secrets, etc. Or should I read from the? You know what I'm gonna read from? I'm gonna read from the right road, because that one's up there, right? Go to the dashboard of Memoirs of Jacob, Royal Road. Go to part 2. Look at that. 8 views so far. Pretty nice. Oh wow, the text is so small. Just give me a second. Can you see? Ooh, there's also art. Part 1, not part 2. I'm trying to move the screen a little so that you see everything. Not my whatchamacallit, please. Not my secrets. Hmm. So small though. What do I do? You know what? Never mind. I'm just gonna read from here. Here it is. Yep. Lady Tawana. Lady Tawana turned from the ranks. Lady Tawana turned from the ranks of Nixpo, her eyes meeting Zara's across the hall. In that moment of tender revelry, the Osorian rose from his seat. He loomed forward, eyes fixed upon the matron, and she saw neither the paw he raised, nor the glint of the serpentine axe it carried. Of course, the damned shedders were in on this as well. And I moved the line about the axe right over here. Behind him, a ceremonial axe, sculpted finely from the best steel, with intricate metalwork too fine to be of Nixporian origin, with its coiled serpentine motifs and inlaid filigree, signatures of Muhammadiyah craft, a gift shaped as much for spectacle as for blood. That alone should have been warning enough. Okay. So there's that. And I'm not sure if I actually added anything aside from the images. A little bits of things here, like pages of details were lost. Yet now, as I obligate myself to commit that wretched scene to paper, I must pause to empty my stomach yet again. That was different. And this is the other thing that you suggested. The Osorian shifted. The Osorian shifted. Heavy shoulders, rising like a mountain disturbed, head tilted in thought. When he finally spoke, it was not the elegant tongue of the Glacians, but broken Anzanian, blunt and childlike. Strength, rule, faith, weak, Nixpo, strong. Her eyes widened. The words were few, simple, too simple. No cunning in them, no argument, no grasp of the weight of her plea. Only a presence vast as the mountain, empty of nuance, terrifying in its finality. Okay. I could only imagine what thoughts entered Lady Tawana's mind. Pity, perhaps. Oh, okay. Before I continue, and I know there's a whole bunch of, oh, here's an idea. And before I continue, here's a little bit of another tangent that I went through. Oh, wait. Can I know? Oh, great. Wonderful. And let's head back up. I guess it's a sign. So let's go back to this song here. The thing is, right? Salamu sara ume janima. Wait, Salamu sara ume. Wait. what is the song?
When I was
Muzara umejani Yamau Ikonawe. Right. With that song, right? It is such a iconic leitmotif, right? That it translates so well into other songs. You immediately recognize it. Even without the words. And I'm here to prove it. First off, let's hear this. Where are you? Not the... Here we are. Give me a second. I'm going to go to my library on my website, go to the playlist. And I'll post the playlist afterwards. But we heard that before already. But I said, okay, due to their new cover ability, we have a couple of new songs. Starting off with this. So let's go full medieval troubadour. Wonderful, right? It is another bit of... It is a secular counterpoint to this. Because music gets carried across different forms, as always. And that's the first part of that playlist. And my question then becomes, ooh, what if I gave the Muhammir a chance to shine? So I went full Middle Eastern. You could hear the theme. It is so creepy how well Suno does with a simple theme, right? And then it could cover something so easily recognizable. And I'm gonna start uploading these as shorts eventually. As the various different versions of the song. And of course, we can't do this without a friggin' string quartet version. This would actually go perfect with the voiceover for the memoirs, right? I could read this and I could overlay this on top of the friggin' memoirs of Jakob, this, and then just read the thing, right? Where is it? Look at this. To all members of the Mau inner circle, so-called memoirs of Jakob are not scripture, but sedition. This works so well as a friggin' trailer, doesn't it? Ooh. And furthermore, I had now this is the new. This is the next bit is going to be the theme that I'm going to use for Worldbuilding Wednesday from now on, as we start the stream. But we didn't have a new overlay ready, unfortunately. But next week, this is going to be the song being played.
Yay,
and
this
new
is
overlay.
neat.
Yep. It's going to be a little quiet to start off with. Perfect for Halloween, isn't it? Do you prefer this under the voiceover for the strings, or over the strings? It is. I could. This is so much more modern, though. It's not even modern. It is postmodern already. So this is more cinematic than anything. I have a bunch more. There's this song, and of course, I said, just go full Warhammer 40k, right? Let's have an orchestra and singing a choir, and immediately it got like Warhammer 40k vibes. Look at this. Listen. This would fit like a slot in nicely as a soundtrack. Doesn't it?
Indeed.
Couple of more cinematic stuff. This could work as well as a. I'm just imagining this on the back of a Game of Thrones episode. Right, so this would work really well as background for reading material. Yeah, here it is. Here's the link if you want to see what I've created so far. Ooh, I forgot to play you the modern opera version. Would work really well for a modern interpretation of the song. It even has the subtle mispronunciations of, George Garvan style mispronunciations. K-Rotate. And we're just gonna have to wait until the friggin' chorus of choir people hits to feel the full dramatic thing. Here comes the drop. Never gets old. Okay. I'm going to stop the playing. Right. Go and look it up. Use it as a background music for whenever you're reading my novel. All that good stuff. That being said, probably now time to actually read what I've written so far in chapter 3. So let me just go here. I'm going to start the recording as well. I'm going to disable TCS for a little bit so that I don't get too distracted. Oh, but before I disable TTS, do you want to say something, Mana, before we continue reading? But yeah, I went down a real big rabbit hole here. So yeah, there's that. What else do I need to say here?
Very neat music.
Oh, okay, yeah. But it is like I said, I think I hate there's a couple of things that I'm conscientious about. Conscientious, conscientious, yeah, that I'm mindful about. Did I just go full Porky Pig? Mindful about that we I know that AI generated stuff is really not that good for artists, writers, and singers and stuff, but it is great for stoking ideas at the very least. And I know I have the resources, having an available resource, but not the means yet. It's just nice way. And I hate adding to the AI slop, right? So I wonder if how much of a value I could add despite things being AI. So that's the nuance I'm going for. But yeah, the resources being burned up to power AI is not ideal either. We're just speeding up the whole energy consumption thing without having resolved the issue first. But that's a whole different drama for a whole different thing to talk about. So I'm going to open this song, play it in the background. Wait, why is it okay? I'm gonna let it play as I read. All right. Is it too loud? I feel it's a little loud. Too quiet? Yeah, that sounds about right. Eyes. Okay. So this is still a bit of a work in progress. The language needs a little bit of tweaking, especially towards the end, because I wanted to finish off the entry. Yeah, that's what she said. I wanted to finish the entry before I do anything. Oh, wait. I shouldn't play this as a background, because if I do record this and I do use the footage, then the TTS and stuff won't get in the way. Right? Okay. Turning off the TTS for a little bit, and hopefully things will go okay as I record. Right. Members of Jakob, Chapter 3, The Heart of the Nixpor, Part 3. Here we go. I had never once seen a Nixpor shed a tear. I realized then, in all my weeks in their city, not in their cities, of course, just like I said, very, very editable. I'm just going to show you the edit screen. I'm not going to be ashamed. The whole edit as you go thing. Right? Not in their cities, in their capital. Hmm? I realized then, in all my weeks in their capital, neither from the yep. This right now, even now, it doesn't make sense. Yep. Once heard. Once heard. It has to be once never once heard, not seen. Shed a tear is more visual than auditorial. So do we just say Nixpor cry? I need Google. I need help. Oh, hello, vast asynchronicity. Thank you for the follow. Text to speech is not on at the moment, unfortunately, because I'm reading through the novel itself, and I'm just editing things as I go on the wiki, so on the fly. So there's that. So yay! Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You know what? You know what? I'm just not gonna record. It is less likely that I'm going to upload this version as is anyway. So let's turn the text to speech back on, so people could say yay or whenever and interrupt me as they please, because this is not the final version. I'm still writing it, and I mean the last few weren't the final version either. So okay, so let's keep reading this. I had never once heard a Nixpor cry. I realized then, in all my weeks in their capital, neither from the mouths of their young, nor at the graves of their dead, not even at the lash. Their silence was not indifference, but something torn away, unhealed, an abscess and left to rot. Not only tears, said a voice, thick in Nixporian accent, coming from the seat next to mine. The Galatian record keeper rose from his seat, whiskers long and eyes wrinkled with age. To write words, yet never birth a poem. To roar, and never shape a song. To move, and never discover I'm bleeding accents here. To move, and never discover a dance. To look upon another, and feel the heat of love, yet never find a way, never find a gesture to show it. I'm getting pulled out. No, that's sus as hell. Sorry, I'm so sus today. But I'm whatchamacallit, removing myself from okay. My disbelief was no longer suspended. There we go. Because I suddenly had the rum Russia with love popping into my head. And me and my ADHD brain. Okay. Right, okay. He let the air settle, his breath steaming in the cold. That is our divine punishment. Whispers rippled through the chamber, low and restrained, as crowds in the ruined arena cheered in the distance. The gods blessed us. The gods blessed us. Damn it, me and my very, very sus Russian accent. Russian. The gods blessed us. Gave us heart, but we spat on their gift. I can't undo my. Is this what it is to have a friggin' Nigerian accent trying a Russian accent? You know what? Let's make it on purpose. Let's try to have a Nigerian African accent while trying to have a Russian accent. I think that's going to blend really well. The gods blessed us, gave us heart, but we spat on their gift, spilled blood on crown day, and for that, Darius, Lion of Flame, turned his face from us. The glacier. Okay, and this is something that I want to. I need to edit as well, because I wanted to talk about the age before, which is the golden age, which is millennia before, versus the equivalent of the Ides of March, which is centuries before. So yeah, I'll let you know now that this passage is going to be reworked, right? So I might remove references to the ancient times, an era long before the wars, where words were etched not on parchment but dried clay. I love this, but this could belong elsewhere, right? I might move it to a different bit of world lore, but yeah. Or you could just voice your opinion now as well, whether if this belongs here or elsewhere. Anyways, the Galatians spoke of myths from ancient times, an era long before the wars, where words were etched not on parchment but dried clay. Bedside stories father would tell me, the 5 gods as they came down and blessed us all with voices, and we lived in harmony. But as millennia passed, borders were drawn, wars were waged, and the Nyxbor thrived. Much of history was set to flame, erased, rewritten, shaped to glorify their strength, as was their right as victors. But a single event marked their downfall, when Emperor Ignaeus was murdered. Well, Emperor Ignaeus was murdered by his council during the New Year's feast, in what became known as the Crown Day Massacre. Some accounts said it was an instant shift, others gradual decay. Beauty itself without it, war became their only canvas. Blood was the only color left to paint with. Thrill-seeking turned to bloodsport, slaughtering their one remaining art. The Muhammir called it justice. for we broke an oath sworn in fire. You Anzanians called it decline, when your cities were no longer ours to plunder. I call it consequence. We became cages made flesh, our hearts still beating, yet locked away from our own reach. And so we chase the roar from the arena, because only by spilling blood do we feel it flow. His eyes swept the room, lingering. Oh, damn it, give me a second. His eyes swept the room, lingering in a heartbeat too long. Lingering in the lingering. Yeah. His eyes swept the room, lingering a heartbeat too long on me. His eyes swept the room, lingering a heartbeat too long on me before returning to Lady Tawana. Her smile radiating the room as she spoke in defiance, her voice carrying no accusation, only empathy. You speak of art as if it was You speak of art as if it was just your own expression. But what is paint without a canvas? What is a poem without a reader? A dance without a partner? You speak of punishment, of a heart stolen from you, said. But I tell you, it was never taken. The day an oath is broken, you simply stop listening to each other, to yourselves. She told them of the Laporan child, who had huddled with us in the snow, whispering a hymn of prayer for the dead. A song so small, you might have dismissed it as nothing, but I heard her. In that hum was grief and hope and love, all that you claim is lost. Even your words, record keeper, moved me more than any story could. The record keeper stumbled back. Not even his white coat could hide his fluster. All you needed was for someone to truly hear it. He stepped towards the Osorian, her gaze unflinching. He spoke, not in eloquent Anzanian, but in Nixborian, so simple, even I understood. Nixbor strong. Faith stronger. Strike me. Lady Tawana spread her arm. The Osorian raised his axe. All breath fled my body. All breath fled my body. By every right, by eternal, by every damn it, mate. By every right, by every right, by every law, it should have fallen. It did not. His arms trembled. The blade quivered in torchlight, suspended in the air. For one impossible moment, strength failed him, and in that faltering, Lady Tawana's words stood vindicated. The heart they claimed was lost still beat within them. I let out a breath I had not known I held. I let out a breath I had not known I held. Even Zara, who had wept herself raw, stilled. Her tears dried on her cheek, as if the world itself dared not to fall apart. For one trembling instant, I believed it was finished, that the Osorian had relented, that the council would let us depart, and that our faith would yet see another dawn. Or so I thought. For in that silence, Lady Tawana did not retreat. She reached instead for the knight laid among the feast, the blade catching the firelight. Her eyes calm, her smile strangely resolute, and in that moment I understood nothing, save that she meant to prove herself more than words could ever bear. If you will not cut loose the chains, she said, her voice carrying clear in the chamber, then I will do it for you. She lifted it slow and walked slowly. She lifted it low and walked slowly towards the Osorian. Her smile was steady, her eyes alight with something I could not
Howdy
name.
howdy. Winky face.
Damn it, Selvala. David's back, by the way. And damn you all for interrupting my friggin' climax. For even in
Hiya
death.
Selvala.
Yep. For even in death, my faith. For even in death, my faith will start. Do you recognize this line? If you do, bravo.
/M/.
Yep. Hi, Raven. /M/ indeed. Rock on. Hang loose, brother. And okay, there we go. Let's keep going then. The Azorian shift back, step by step, as if the weight of her words pressed heavier than any blade. The hall tensed. Glacians whispered. Hygrants gripped their heels at their sides, and the Snowarians, fleet, nervous, ever the first to strike, saw the knife gleam in her hand, and the arrow flew. A gasp torn from her chest. I cannot say if it was accident or command, only that it was the first true act of emotion I have ever seen from them.
Haha, you didn't. Climax.
She staggered. The knife fell from her grasp, yet she did not fall away. Do you know the way? She stepped into the Osorian's reach, and bleeding. She stepped into the Osorian's reach and, bleeding, drew him into her embrace. It was not vengeance. It was not victory. It was loss, grief. It was loss and grief and love pressed upon him all at once, more than his heart could bear. And in that unbearable silence, as the chamber reeled, Zara began to see. Where's the Sarah singing? Where is it? I popped it out. That's what she said. planned for the fall of the Roman Empire to coincide with this, the referencing things like the Ides of March, whereas Et tu Brute, Julius Caesar. I didn't even know that it was a lunar thing, and of course, I had to name this the Crown Moon, and it just feels like in synchronicity, and it is scary to think that the universe is aligning itself slightly for me to write this book. That's what's happening right now. At least that's what I feel. And it just feels creepy. In a good way. Right?
Isn't that always fun when things line up like that? Also, hi Raven. Oh boy, novel reading. Hiya Tales.
Yep. Okay. Let's see who has here. Yep, just novel reading right now. And I'm also going to, you know what? Since we are novel reading.
Hey, a Biggie, Raven and Manta.
Hey, you weren't here yesterday. Yesterday we had David was being sus.
I had a deja vu today.
Ooh. Have you been in this place before? Hi on the street. Zavala, stop triggering my ADHD, damn it. Okay? Well, never mind. Okay, let's keep going. And I'm going to turn on the music now.
I was in a place that I swear I'd been already for a thing I thought I did.
Yep. But okay, let me just turn on this thing. I read. So you feel all of the drama. Yep. Okay. The hymn rose higher, curling in the rafters like smoke, and I thought the air itself would break. It did. A sound erupted from the chamber that I've never heard from an Explorian throat. Not the roar of battle, not the bark of command, but grief, raw and unmeasured. The Osorian bellowed like a beast unto death. The Glacians sobbed, their careful poise undone in an instant. The Snowarians keened loudest, shrill and more piercing than any arrow loosed from the dark. Even the Leporans, whose tears had long been changed, wept openly, their howls carried through the mounds as if the whole realm had been waiting for this moment. The silence of centuries shattered, and sound of it was terrible and beautiful all at once. At last the command was given. I do not know by whom, and that we were to be dismissed. A Lupan guard, his voice still thick with the echoes of Sarah's song, was appointed to see us safely through the streets. He said nothing as he walked ahead, but I thought I heard him hum, a fragrant of the hymn, low and broken, as though he's afraid to forget it. The city itself seemed changed. Faces who once carried only blank resolve now bore streaks of wetness, eyes wide and unsteady, hands trembling with something too long denied. The air heavy, as if the world itself exhaled after centuries of holding its breath. When at last we returned to the inn, Dmitri stared at us as though we had risen from the grave. He shook his head, and when he looked again, it was with a strangeness I could not name. He pushed aside his Hexfang board, replacing it with a parchment and charred edge of a log pulled from the heart, and with that ash he lingered, then smudged the mark almost without thinking. then began smudging marks. All right. Our rooms were bare, our luggage thrown out. I guess we weren't expected to return. All I have now are my memoirs, and I've run out of parchment and ink. I do not think I will sleep tonight. And with that is the first half of the memoirs that I've written. And what's going to follow as a preview, Manta, which I haven't written yet, which will be the little Laporan child returning. He's going to look around. I'm not sure if we're going to be. It's about Zara. If Zara and Jacob are walking outside, right? Or perhaps something of that nature. Okay, so here's what's gonna happen. This is what's gonna happen. The entry is gonna be the next day or the next board of the entry, and it's gonna be Jacob recalling the events of him walking around in the night because he was unable to sleep. Right? And the Laporan child who was having a prayer with him earlier wants to pull him aside, and his pregnant and her pregnant mother is having a difficult birth. Like, it is very imagine being the first to go into labor after their ability to cry was restored. So what's going to happen is that her mom's going to have a difficult birth. Dara's going to be there, and she's going to ask for the Laporan child is going to realize that her parents are no more, and like Zara's parents were no more, and pull Zara and me and Jacob to the arts house in the lower quarter, and they're going to start a prayer, right, to hope that her mother survives the birth. And they could hear flickering lights and magic returning and all that good stuff, right? And the chapter is going to end with the child being born and crying, which sets off the whole event of the next chapter, right? Because the cries of the cries have returned. Tears have returned to the whole kingdom with that miracle. So it is an insinuation that there's something magical going on, right? So
Lady Tawana is perish now, or she recover?
He perish. He perished now. I guess I need to actually make sure that that is clear. He dead. Yeah, because that would make the image more visceral, right? Basically, as the last breath left her body, she embraced Nick's spore, right? And
Okay, I
yeah.
just wanted to be sure.
Yeah, because
Don't
This
worry, the
is
Dragon Balls will revive her off screen. Or prequels.
and she's gonna get isekai'd, right? No, but the thing is, right? The prequels could revive her, but no, we don't need prequels. This is okay. As a bit of context, there, this is basically in-game lore for my game, in as a prequel to the events happening in the game. And since you're here,
Truck Kun.
Yes. No, it's, in this case, it was Arrow-kun. She was arrowed. And the other and okay, since you're here, and not a lot of people are gonna know this, right? But I'm going to let you in on a secret on the lore that I've come up with, right? So they okay. Privileges of people who are in the stream, I guess. So I'm going to maybe add a little bit to say that the song Zara sung was Orubor. She's directly going to sing Orubor, Sanguinius, because it is in Latin. And I might add a little bit of a passage to say that Zara is that Jacob does not recognize the language, right? Because it is Latin, and Latin doesn't exist in our universe. So it's insinuated, at least in my in if you dig deep enough, I'm gonna have fans or readers theorize this, and it's probably going to be confirmed in the game if the game ever comes out, that Zara is an isekai protagonist. I'm not even sure if I said that already, but she's an isekai protagonist from our world with a lot of in-world knowledge. And this guy is just capturing all the weird things she does. And so that's one of the bigger spoilers of this. And I'm just going to hint at it.
Ice Guy. In my pseudo fantasy story? Impossible.
Ice guy with my little eye. But no, that's what I'm going to insinuate. But I've never stated out right out, and I'm not even sure that it's going to be canon. But that's one of the ideas, because she has to she's using her in-world knowledge and stuff to set this up. But as the story unfolds, she gets weirder and weirder and more. How do I say this? Eldritch, yes. Existential horror, eldritch kind of stuff. And I'm going to try to mimic. Imagine being an NPC in a game.
It was all a dream. She is in a coma.
I'm trying to make a Magic the Gathering joke regarding that Leviathan, but yeah, never mind. Why does off on a tangent? Why is Simic my favorite color combination, and why is the play pattern so horrible? Anyways, yep. So if you want, I'm going to maybe start the new linked tree to put all the Memoirs of Jacob stuff in one place.
Mario Leech.
Mario Liege? Maybe. Wait. suddenly my brain isn't working. What reference this for? But yeah, I
You're
needed
an
to make
awful
sure.
person and people hate your decks. Merit Leg.
Oh, merit large. Yep. Wait. Can we even have a merit large deck? No, she can't be. Merit large can't be the commander. Um. So I wonder, like, I would imagine her being in Gold. Wait, is Golos banned in Commander?
Not yet.
I can't remember. Has Golos been banned? Not yet? Okay. So,
It's the 20 flying indestructible chump blocker.
yeah.
Golos was unbanned.
Ah, I see. So, because Golos, Merit Lodge, and a bunch of different abilities within those 5 colors to get Merit Lodge out. And Vampire Hex Mages and all those other things. I think there was some new tech with Merit Lodge in Commander, but I think I'm digressing.
Wait today.
Oh, but anyways, it was unbanned a little bit ago, right? Okay, so let me think.
Quitting JK.
Yeah. But yeah, I want your thoughts so far, Mana, about this in this chapter. But of course, it's unfinished. So you could talk about anything from this chapter or the music stuff and anything that you see within the writing that's a little weak. But we're almost done here, and we're going to go into Gundam in a little bit. So as you do that, I'm gonna set up the Gundams. Anything that you noticed so far, Usar? Or anybody? Feel free to voice in. What was I doing? I was gonna set up the stream, which means that I need to open up the studio and set up a new stream.
Well, is probably better that me when for reasons I imagined if a certain Disney furry movie was a fighting game story. I am not joking.
I think that there's a couple of takes regarding that comment, Tails. First off, if you watch, we're all furries. Like it or not, we all are. We're on that spectrum somewhere. If you watch Disney, you are a bit of a furry already. If you play Sonic, you're a bit of a furry already. Because, like it or not, you have some fondness for the characters that are being depicted there.
Especially Biggie. I remember your Monster Rancher card game playthrough. I don't play Sonic.
But yep. Oh wow. I'm getting my flashbacks into
The rest may be true.
Oh my. But yeah, okay. No kink shames, everybody. No kink shaming allowed. Especially the following chapters where we're going to
Well, not
move...
the furry thing.
Yeah,
but
we're
I
gonna
hang
move...
out with furries.
I am so not a fairy that when I'm
Where
hanging
do
out,
Blanca mains reside?
I am so not a fairy that when a fairy, when I hang out with furries, I don't feel like I want to dress up. Not even cat ears, you know. Okay, um, let's just keep going, right? I said I wanted to set up the next stream, but I'm failing to do so. Okay, create, go live, manage my streams. I'm gonna schedule one.
Overall, good chapter, not too much for me to critique. Biggie is deep in the closet.
My wheelchair doesn't even fit in the closet, mind you. Oh, by the way, I'm pretty open about my sexuality. You just have to figure out and look deeper.
Mans has a wifey.
Yes. Need to set it up. New game plus translation still sus. Is it episode 23 or 24? Damn me and short-term memory.
Let's just say I was on a furry server because reasons and someone posted art of certain furries in martial arts attires and my brain poisoned by fighting game lore started working by itself.
Okay. If you are hooray. The ADHD brain does be doing all kind of weird
So
things.
you like King from Tekken?
Well, I am a friggin' dirty grappling main, so I played Zangief, and well, to be fair, I don't play King on Tekken because even before my fingers were effed up, I wasn't able to do the grappling combinations. So my go-to was Ganryu, and it's just keep away and sweeps and just a little bit of juggling because his reach is so long. Ganryu's reach, his sweeps are so long.
Ain't there a panda in one of them?
There's a panda in several of them. Yep. All right, so
I don't have any particular main in Tekken but do try to be decent with most of the cast. Therefore I suck at Tekken.
okay, ultra low latency. Let me get the shareable link here.
As a playable cast. Also David is back. Hooray.
Oh yeah, hooray! David's back. So this is the for you on YouTube, that's going to be the next stream. So I've set it up briefly. Need to remove this.
Anyway, from what I've seen, your novel is decent.
Decent? No, I take it as a compliment. Go and look for it on Royal Road. Give it some critiques and things. Right? So and share it if you like it, but don't need to do any of that. You're not obligated to. Okay, so where am I? Let's go to the face cam real quick. Yeah.
So, the novel from now on is going to be Jakob and Zara traveling around.
The novel. Okay, so what's going to be what's happening is it's going to be Zara and Jakob traveling around. Yes. So what's actually going to happen, if you know anything about the in-game lore that we've built already, is that Zara, the 7 miracles of Zara, are the ones that she travels all around to the different realms and gift them a different miracle every one, like slowly into one another. If I okay, so if you go to, yeah, I'm gonna go back to the game dev screen briefly. Just yep, this is the 7 miracles, right? So and I need to rewrite this as well. This is outdated. So the 7 miracles happened across several years, 7 times 7 years. So Nixbor, she's going to give them a heart so they can express themselves, and the form of the Mohamir, she gave them hands, right? So they could keep promises. That's an imagery I like as well, because you know, snakes not having arms, she gave them hands so they could shake hands and keep promises. And the Shuren, she gave them feet so they could explore the world. So those are the tree folk people who were shut off from the world, but she was able to communicate with them thanks to her recognition that they're living things. Beforehand, the Shuren weren't a living thing. Well, they were living things, but people didn't realize they were conscious. But she did. The tree folks actually don't have any eyes or ears, but then they communicate through vibrations, good vibrations. And then she went to the after that, she went to the Kaab, and we gave them a voice so they could speak with others. And you'll like how things gonna everything that she does accelerates the world from medieval era and Renaissance era all the way to post-industrial. And for the Viracocha, he's going to give them names, trigger the Enlightenment, and reforming the religion for the Jalaya. And of course, she became a martyr, just like her mom. The end. And you need to look forward to all of that. You have all that to look forward to. And I'm going to, I'm going to binge write as much as I can to get all of this down as much as possible. Right? At this rate, it's going to take me ages to finish. Right? But as soon as I'm done, then yeah, that's going to be the gist of the story. All right, I think I overdid it on the explanation. Let me thank my members first before we continue. Let's thank Apilux, Mantar, Rafa, Vegachapa, Amislam, Chris Brent for being members, getting to watch vids early, cool badges and emojis, and get some to do some feedback on my novels and stuff as well, because they get to see all this stuff first. Maybe if I don't have if I have a big enough following for a members only stream, I'll do so. But yeah, the rest of you guys, don't forget to like the video right now to enjoy it. Subscribe if you want to see more. Click on the bell to get notified for when I go live, and just follow the good old link if you're from YouTube to the new stream. All right, so it's me and Begin. I'll be right back. See you guys in a little while. No, I'm just gonna go outro here. before I switch streams. Go over to the link.